Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be checking out the worst internet gun fails number 9, the Darwin Awards by Brandon Herrera, guys. Yes, if you don't know what a Darwin Award is by this point in the series, well, you'll find out pretty quickly. Usually has to revolve around someone removing themselves from the gene pool. Unfortunately, sometimes that may be other people in some cases, depending on situation. But yeah, typically it's removing oneself. And usually in these videos, it's to do with gun safety violations in general, you know. So yeah, you know, we're gonna see what number 9 has in store for us. We've seen some pretty ratchet stuff in the previous videos, so yeah, we'll see what number 9 has. I don't really know what else to say about this. There's not really much of an intro needed, much of an explanation needed, I think, for these videos largely. So yeah, worst internet gun fails number 9. Big thank you to all of our members, and without any further delay, let's get right into it. We're gonna leave a like, captions on, quality, 1440p, sure, we'll take it. Full screen, without any further delay, guys. Let's get right into the video.
Yep. Good night. One thing a lot of these videos have in common is that when something terrible like that happens, everybody's just super chill. The guy's just like, oh, no. What is up, you sexy YouTube mother lovers, and welcome back to another episode.
I'm not going to make any
Darwin
assumptions,
Awards.
but...
Now, as you've heard me say before, guns are awesome. Idiots, well, not so much.
That's
when
right.
you put the two of those things together, you could end up with what we call a Darwin Award. The Darwin Award, as you may have gathered, is the metaphorical award that you're given when you remove yourself from the gene pool. You do something dumb, evolution does its thing, and the fittest continue to survive.
Something
now
like
let me
that.
speak directly to the YouTube manual reviewer who determines whether or not this video gets monetized. I just want to point out this video contains no uncensored graphic violence or death. Anything that is shown is presented in an educational context.
Of course.
Gun safety.
Educational.
Without further ado, let's jump into our first clip. This is a light machine gun known as
What
an
not to
M240
do.
Bravo. This is how you fire an M240 Bravo. This is how you improperly fire an M240 Bravo. Yeah, so that is that's a negligent discharge.
Yeah, that's crazy. Let's watch that one more time.
This is how you improperly fire an M240 Bravo.
So he drops that shit. He goes to he goes to shoulder the weapon. Clearly too heavy. Has an improper grip. Already has his finger on the trigger before he before he's even taken a sight picture. And so he, when the gun obviously falls forward, he pulls the trigger back and releases a few rounds into the ground beside him. Good thing he's got a wide stance there, I will say, and good thing at least, like, there's really nothing like in this area. But holy shit, that could have ended very, very badly. That is fucked. Also, these guns are massive. Like, they weigh a shitload. You should never be trying to shoulder fire these. Well, some people can, C6s and the like, you don't really shoulder fire those, Your C9, yeah, absolutely, go for it, give her tits. But, 7.62 and above, yeah, not the best idea.
Yeah, so that is that's a negligent discharge. My man's almost gave himself the most humiliating Purple Heart of all time. Now, the M240 Bravo fires this, which is a 308, 7.62 by 51 NATO. And it fires it really quick, which makes ricochet and shrapnel from our buddy's incident here probably pretty spicy. But if we look into this video a little bit closer, it looks like he was trying to, do the cool guy thing, shoulder the gun, whatnot, but hold it by the bipod. So he puts the gun up like he's gonna grab it by the bipod and misses. And
I will say, interesting, real quick thing, interesting, what was that, 308 that was chambered in? Hold on, let's, I want to catch that one more time.
our buddy's incident, 51 NATO.
7.62 by 51. Okay, yeah, so it's the exact same as the C6. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I was like not fucking up on that. I was like, yeah, it's literally a C6.
The bipod. So he puts the gun up like he's gonna grab it by the bipod and misses. And if I had to guess, his finger is already on the trigger, which violates one of the core rules of gun safety. Always keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. In his defense, the 240 Bravo is a pretty heavy gun. I think it's like,
yeah, it is.
Pounds. But in order to try to get a tighter grip there as it was falling, obviously also squeezing the trigger, which sent more than a couple rounds of 308 into the ground in front of him and the ground all around his feet. And speaking of machine guns, that brings us to our second clip. What in the Middle East is happening here? We have a line of dudes who are celebrating in the typical Middle Eastern.
So again, every time we see these types of videos, usually it's not even like the the guy improperly using the firearm that gets injured or wounded or whatever have you. It's usually the people in the surrounding area that unfortunately receive it, I suppose, as we say. Yeah, again, this is just in the Middle East somewhere. I don't know where. I'm not going to make any assumptions. Dude's just pointing his gun up in the air, and I'm sure he's just going to full auto shoot that motherfucker into the sky. Crazy shit, man. Like, again, I don't get it personally. I'm not. I just don't understand it myself.
In the Middle East is happening here. We have a line of dudes who are celebrating in the typical Middle Eastern fashion of taunting gravity. They're firing an underfolder AK straight up into the air. Nah, I'm sure it'll be fine. So we have our first guy, he's firing straight up into the air. Handles it like a champ. Figures it's time to pass the torch on to the young buck right next to him. Loads a fresh magazine into the gun, he stands up. And he limp wrists the hell out of it. Definitely at least one of those rounds looks like it could have been at lethal level with a couple of other people around him. I guess he subscribes to the motto of, if at first you don't succeed, then try again. Because he gets right back up and just tries to continue out the magazine. Like a champ, I guess. The guy who passed him the gun in the first place is like, nah, homie, you had your chance. No, you done did fuck that up. Maybe do some curls and then come back for the next wedding. Now, of course, as we've mentioned before,
yeah, that was fucking crazy to see. So I just like how he just casually fucking finished it off with his second hand. Like, he actually fired it properly that time. But yeah, everyone was like, what the fuck there? Like, I'm glad they at least did something. Or immediately tried to do something about it this time. In other videos like this we've seen, they just kind of fucking sit there and they just let it happen and continue. You know what I mean? At least this time they were like, what the fuck? They actually reacted, it seemed like.
And just tries to continue out the magazine, like a champ, I guess. The guy who passed him the gun in the first place is like, nah, homie, you had your chance.
Yeah.
No, you done did fuck that up. Maybe do some curls and then come back for the next wedding.
Literally.
Now, of course, as we've mentioned before, firing a gun like this in the air in the first place is dangerous as hell.
Yeah, very bad.
Because, what goes up must come down. So if you're going to be shooting up anything into the air, maybe use fireworks. I'm sure that can't end poorly. Now, if you're new to Darwin Awards or my content as a whole and you're enjoying yourself so far, be sure to hit that subscribe button. That way, next time we upload a Darwin Awards video, you can watch it before YouTube age restricts it, like they did with a lot of the others. But seriously, subscribing helps us out a lot, so does liking and commenting. So go ham in that comment section, at least within recent. Now, our next clip I'd actually seen a couple of years ago. It involves an accident at an indoor range with a full auto Glock 17. Now,
interesting.
A full auto Glock is remarkably hard to control, firing at a stupid fast cyclic rate. The result is usually something pretty damn hard to control, which is why a lot of people add vertical grips or aftermarket stocks, that sort of thing. Here you have somebody who's shooting it with a vertical grip right in front of the trigger guard. And he's about to find out one of the main reasons why vertical grips on full auto Glocks sketch me the fuck out.
Hold on.
Yep. Right there.
You get shot?
Oh, no, yeah, you can see it. I don't... Maybe, yeah, we should probably blur that. First off, this dude is hilariously casual after just putting at least one, maybe two or three 9mm holes into his hand and arm.
Really? You get shot? Yeah.
But as to what I said before about vertical grips on full auto pistols like this sketching me the fuck out, vertical grips can break or come loose under recoil, which if you're pushing that vertical grip out forward to try to control recoil, if that breaks loose, you're now directly in front of this very short, fully automatic weapon.
Yeah, and I will say too, I'll be completely honest, guys. I've not seen vertical grips on full auto Glocks. I know what a Glock 17 is. I know full auto Glocks, but yeah, I could not ever see that being a good idea. Yeah, that's just not something I ever would have conceived of doing, I guess. But yeah, Don't put a vertical grip on a fucking Glock or sidearm in general, I'd think. Well, certain sidearms, absolutely, but not a fucking Glock. Don't do to a Glock.
If that breaks loose, you're now directly in front of this very short, fully automatic weapon that is actively dumping bullets downrange. Not necessarily saying you shouldn't use one, but make sure this isn't where you cheap out. Heard a similar story of somebody who did this with a Keltec KSG-12, you know, the shorty like the one that was in John Wick. So dual tube 12 gauge shotgun, vertical grip, breaks as he's trying to shoot super quick and be cool, pulls trigger, deletes a good chunk of his hand. But as for the subject of our video here in the range, it's a good thing he's probably right-handed, because if he was using his left hand for any sort of extracurricular for jerking off, he would be shit out of luck for quite a while. Now, sticking with the indoor shooting range theme, our next clip takes us to a gun store / range. Here we see the subject of this video standing at the counter here, trying to clear his handguns. I don't know if he just got there or he just got finished shooting, but either way, he's trying to do the safe thing and clear the guns. Unfortunately, he's not doing the safe thing by, while trying to unload and clear the guns, flagging himself and others. And as well, he's flagging his range mate that he does this. Boom. He has a negligent discharge into his friend. It's unclear whether it's like the leg or the pelvic region. Oof. But after this, everybody just kind of stands around doing nothing, either from shock or because they just don't know what the fuck to do at this point. Which is why I'd like to give a quick shout out to this gentleman who's all the way across the fucking room and immediately goes into action. As soon as the gun goes off and he realizes something is wrong, he darts across the room and immediately takes command of the situation. Starts giving people instructions. It looks like he tells the guy behind the counter to go grab the first aid kit. Fucking grade A response under pressure, and it's a really good example of just, if you're gonna be fucking around with guns a lot, or really at all, you should probably know the basics of how to plug holes and not just punch holes. You don't need to be a...
And I will say to you, that situation in general, I just want to go back to like the frame there. That was like a very like stupid situation. I know like Darwin Awards, yeah, but like damn dude, like how do you end up firing around into your buddy like that to clear a handgun? Like it's really not that fucking hard. You just eject the magazine and rack the gun, and then while the fucking gun is open, obviously inspect the chamber. It's not rocket science. It's really not, I don't know. I just don't know how. And like also in a gun store too, of all places, maybe he just finished firing. Maybe I hear too, like a lot of people bringing like loaded guns into gun stores and just NDs occurring. And it's like, how does that happen? You know what I mean? Like, first off, why are you bringing like a loaded gun into a gun store if you're trying to like sell it or like trade it or whatever the fuck, I don't know. It's just, it's weird to me. I don't get it.
He takes command of the situation. Starts giving people instructions. It looks like he tells the guy behind the counter to go grab the first aid kit. Fucking grade A response under pressure, and it's a really good example of just, if you're gonna be fucking around with guns a lot, or really at all, you should probably know the basics of how to plug holes and not just punch holes. You don't need to be a fucking medic, but learning basic first aid, maybe carrying around a first aid kit, a tourniquet, basic life-saving tools like that, probably serve you pretty well in life. The more you know.
Especially in a gun store, I guess,
allegedly. We're a couple of minutes into the video now, and it's kind of shitty because the only ones that came close to being a Darwin Award are, when they're winning that award for other people, which is really not how that's supposed to work.
That's right.
You're supposed to be removing yourself from the gene pool accidentally, not, other people. Although this should be a good example of why you should probably minimize your time spent around idiots. Anyhow, here's what would be a potentially technical Darwin Award. Here we have something from a video aptly called, I suppose, British shoot guns for the first time. Here we have what I assume is a couple going to the range. It's a great recreational activity, hopefully a learning experience. Usually if you tell an instructor that you're a new shooter, they're happy to walk you through the rules of gun safety and teach you how to do it properly and safely. In the first 3 seconds of the clip, she almost shoots her man in the heart.
That way.
Oh my god.
I feel like she's violating like all 4 rules of gun safety right here. Not only is she obviously flagging her man here, flagging, for those of you unfamiliar with the term, is when you are pointing a weapon at somebody. Like if you're at a range.
So either he is also just as ignorant and doesn't care. I see he's like adjusting the camera or whatever the fuck here. I just don't understand. Like, first off, like why are you turning with a gun? Like, and she has her finger on the trigger there too. I guess the instructor can't see at this point, but like also just like this guy's fucking oblivious. And after the fact too, you would think maybe like, I don't know, even to like for yourself, maybe like, I don't know, cut it a little bit, edit it a bit, because like, holy shit, that's bad, dude. That's bad.
Flagging, for those of you unfamiliar with the term, is when you are pointing a weapon at somebody. Like if you're at a range, you turn around and you end up pointing the gun at your friend, you're flagging them. And that's a great way to get your ass kicked in most circles. Gun people tend to take that very seriously.
Yeah.
And she's flagging them super hard from a very close distance while she's trying to insert the magazine and load the gun. Even the act of inserting a magazine like that, depending on your grip and a couple other things, the firearm, whatever, just inserting the magazine could be enough to drop the slide, which is going to send a round into the chamber, meaning you have a live weapon. All you need to do is pull the trigger from that point. Which is convenient because if you look closely, she clearly has her finger on the trigger. And that's when our Superman comes over. the range safety officer, or RSO, has the only appropriate reaction that I can think of.
Oh my god.
Yeah, oh my god is fucking right. I love how he spins the camera back around the other way as if like he's like, hey, I'm about to give you like a fucking ass chewing right now.
Like, yeah.
You might not want to record this to Facebook Live or whatever the fuck you're doing. An ass chewing that was probably well-deserved, considering she was, you know, one bad finger
about to kill somebody.
Unaliving her range date, sending him to the big crumpet party in the sky, which I think would qualify as technical.
And again, I just don't know if like
sending
it's the
him
case
to
of
big
he didn't
crumpet
notice
party in the
or
sky,
what the fuck.
which I think would qualify
But I would be so
as
triggered.
technically being a Darwin Award. Because think about it, you're removing the person that you were going to breed with. It's got to count for something, right?
No.
Partial credit. So our next video I could not make up if I tried. So here, if I had to guess, I think we're back in the Middle East, either that or maybe South America. We have our security guard here who is hard at work guarding a lot of motorcycles. He's asleep. He's fast asleep. Now, of course, you're not supposed to sleep on the job, so he doesn't have a pillow or a bed or anything. No, he's instead resting on his shotgun. Yikes. Well, he's awake now. Yeah, he's clearly a bit confused. At least he's up and standing. God, let's see that shot again. Well, he didn't
That's
Cobain
crazy.
himself.
That's actually kind of crazy. He got very lucky there. Also, how the hell do you pass out on a shotgun? I get like if you're like, you know, maybe like leaning against the gun or something like that, you know what I'm saying? But like to fall asleep on that motherfucker? No. No, there ain't no way. I don't care how tired I am. I wouldn't have done that. Now, I will say, you know, falling asleep on the fucking scope of your rifle, you know, you've been awake for like fucking like, you know, 4 or 5 days straight, and you're just fucking, you know, you're sitting there in the prone position, and suddenly your helmet, you know, that rifle scope, I'm not gonna lie, that gets comfy sometimes, but like, you know.
Let's see that shot again.
Not the barrel of the gun. That's
well,
crazy.
He didn't Cobain himself. I guess that's the good news.
Yeah.
It does look like he has opted for the shortcut to a Michael Jackson nose job, though. Goes over and grabs that rag, and you can see, yeah, he's a little messed up. I can't imagine what leads to the point where you're willing to rest your face on a shotgun barrel.
Literally.
Let alone one that you know is completely loaded and ready to go. I don't know what it is about shotguns, but people seem far too willing to rest on them for whatever reason. Let's not forget the infamous photo of the cop literally sitting on his duty shotgun.
That's not real.
The memes write themselves. I also find it kind of hilarious that his local
That can't be
newspaper
real.
called him out for this. Nowadays, it would just be social media calling him out. Kind of like I'm doing now. Not like social media needs any more reasons to hate gun content anyway, but hey, at least I try to use this platform as kind of, you know, maybe a teachable moment. Speaking of social media hating on gun content, if you'd like to check out a 2A friendly social network, marketplace, directory, that sort of thing, go ahead and check out the guys over at Arms Directory. I actually got to meet these guys recently, and I kind of dig their mission and a lot of the pro 2A tools that they're trying to build for businesses. I dig what they're trying to do for Second Amendment folks, so if you want to check them out, I'm going to go ahead and leave the links down in the description and the pinned comment. We appreciate their support. Hope they do well. Now, would this really be an episode of the Darwin Awards if we didn't talk about Tannerite?
Oh.
Tannerite, for those who
Everyone's
don't know, is
favorite.
a brand of low-grade explosives, like a binary explosive that you can use out at the range. They're technically labeled as a reactive target, which is pretty cool. Basically, you shoot it with a bullet that has enough velocity to it, and they explode. I've been shooting with them for fun for like a decade now. They're really neat, and they're actually safe to use, as long as you use them properly. Yeah, a lot of people fuck that last part up. So we've got this gentleman who's shooting at a very, very close distance, I might say, to a washing machine that I'm assuming is not
Oh no, that's a washing machine? Okay, so I don't know how much tannerite he's gotten there. Probably way too fucking much. What kills me is you can see very, very clearly already the door is facing him. So depending on how much tannerite he has on here, how much explosive, I guess, is in there, that door might just get shot clean off and come flying at him. They're only about, what, 20 yards away, 25 yards away, maybe? Something like that? I don't know. Jesus.
Let's see what
Maybe.
happens.
Hard to tell. Yep.
Holy shit. First off, I can
Yep.
tell why he's shooting at it from this close now, because even at this distance with a rifle, it's taken him like 5 rounds just to hit this damn thing. But once he does, dear God. You see, something a lot of people don't understand about explosives of really any kind is that they're omnidirectional. They explode outward in all directions and impart force around anything that's around it, whether that be the air or, let's say, pieces of a washing machine.
Yeah,
Now, you can blow
in
up
that case,
all
the
sorts
door.
of cool shit with binaries. Based on the instructions, you're technically not supposed to, but let's face it, it's really fucking fun. Be sure to maintain a safe distance. If you can, be behind something. Cover works. But what you definitely don't want to do is be too close and have the explosive be inside of something, like a washing machine. Or alternatively, a microwave.
Holy shit! Oh my god! Dude! God damn! Holy shit! God. Holy tits!
To be honest, I knew this clip was going to be rad when I saw the Live Leak logo. Rest in peace, Live Leak. You made some of us grow up way too fast. But not
Jesus.
as fast as the door to that microwave.
Holy shit!
That's,
Again,
yeah.
this goes back to the whole omnidirectional thing, which means that if it's exploding outward and blowing that microwave to pieces, any piece of that microwave, like say a door, that's facing your direction, is going to get blown in your direction, which is how you turn your Hot Pocket heater into an IED. You don't do that. Now, this next video is a great example of, again, what happens when you
Where are
don't
they?
follow the basic rules of firearm safety.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately, this guy's friend pays the price.
I think I might
and let me
know.
just clarify before we press play, the only version of this that I have is the edit, so apologies in advance if this is a little fucked up. Yep. Good night. One thing a lot of these videos have in common is that when something terrible like that happens, everybody's just super chill. The guy's just like, oh, no. I've seen people react more upset to their favorite sports team losing, even if they don't follow sports.
Literally.
But this is why it's just super important to have a culture of gun safety. I mean, there's multiple people in this video. Like the dude if you're watching the video to the left, it's just like walking around with a handgun
Whoa.
pointed,
Yeah.
just out at anybody that's walking around him. To reiterate the 4 basic laws of gun safety: keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. Treat every gun as if it is loaded. Know your target and what's behind it, and never point a gun at anything you're not willing to destroy.
So I assume too in a lot of these countries, like gun laws, right? Like they must just be like, for lack of a better word, like non-existent, right? Like anyone can surely just go purchase a firearm in those countries, right? Like clearly, you must be able to. Like I don't know how else you explain like shit like this happening. You know what I mean? Like that's all it is.
Our trigger man here violated all of those rules while loading. his
Yeah, that
handgun.
was
Why the
crazy.
vast majority of these DARWIN Awards videos don't do so well in the monetization department, but you know what? I think it's important. You receive entertainment and gun safety tips. I receive no fucking money. The worst trade deal in the history of trade deals. Now, this next video I feel like we have to talk about because this no shit gets sent to me probably at least once or twice a week. It was actually so much that we had to make a rule to stop people from posting it over and over again in the subreddit. I only want to bring it up to show why I haven't included it before and why I refuse to include clips like it in DARWIN Awards. This is a clip of a Russian soldier from a year or two ago, hanging out with his friends. He uses his phone to record while he decides to load and chamber a full auto Frank AKS-74U and sticks it under his chin. And then lets it rip. You can pretty much imagine what happens. So yeah, this is a screenshot of a man who is no longer alive. No, I'm not going to be sharing the video. You could probably find it. It's been shared a lot over the
Damn, dude. Damn, and that's just from fucking around, too. That's actually just fucking around. And this was for like a prank? I don't understand how that happens,
No,
man.
I'm not going to be sharing the video. You could probably find it. It's been shared a lot over the last year or so. I've avoided featuring this video for so long that it's probably obvious now that I've been doing it intentionally. The Darwin Awards, at least the way we've done them, are supposed to be accidents. They're stupid people doing dumb things, and we both laugh at them and learn from their mistakes. This is someone deciding to intentionally punch their own ticket.
Yeah.
That doesn't feel the same. Things like this aren't funny accidents. They're people experiencing real things like depression, hopelessness, and anything else that can make somebody opt for the self-checkout line. And the odds are, people that you know are experiencing similar feelings right now. You may not even know it.
Now, I will say that shit isn't funny. Like, again, I think put a gun to your head in any regard, you know, implies like a degree of mental illness. I feel like the average person, you know, doesn't think that way, you know, like doesn't go towards their own self-destruction, I guess, in like such a willing manner in that way. Unless it's out of like sheer ignorance, as we've seen. And say, hey, listen, sometimes that happens in these Darwin Award videos. In that case, though, again, as a prank or something, but yeah, it takes yeah, something has to be messed up there for sure, you know. That one was obviously not funny, right? Very fucked up. But it's just like, damn, dude. Yeah.
Are people that you know are experiencing similar feelings right now. You may not even know about it.
It's true.
Call a friend. Call a friend. Life is too short not to have that one lunch that might make all the difference. And if this sounds like you, and you think that nobody cares, you're wrong. But if you feel like you need it, just remember there's always a number that you can call. After all, guns are amazing tools for self-protection. But the only person that can protect you from yourself is you. So with all of that in mind, I look forward to being able to tell you guys for a long, long time to come. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you sexy YouTube mother lovers in the next video. Thanks.
Fuel is my obsession to make the perfect weapon, like Rasputin's rise to the top.
Oh god, the thumbnail for that one still makes me cringe. Anything at the end here? A little bit? Oh.
She's clearly not treating this gun as if she's loaded. She's probably treating the gun as if she's loaded, frankly.
Yeah, she was actually. That was awesome, guys. That was the worst internet gun fails, number 9, the Darwin Awards. Yeah, some very, very good learning experiences in that one. Some were pretty messed up there, I have to say. Some very good learning tips there. A lot of like just complete NDs in that one, just negligent discharges, which resulted not in a Darwin Award in the typical sense. Oh, some of them did, I suppose, but most of the time somebody else getting injured or almost getting injured, which is very unfortunate, you know, because you know, when an idiot gets a hold of a gun, that's just kind of like, you know, it's sad that other people have to pay for that in a sense, but also given the situations, some of which of what we saw, you know, it's kind of the case of like, why are you guys even having guns like there in the first place? Why is that happening? You know, yeah, the last one, yeah, was particularly rough to see. I will say that that one was pretty messed up. And it is pretty messed up that you know, I guess like he did it in his barracks. There's other soldiers around, and no one kind of like stopped them, said, you know, that's fucked. Why are you doing that? And I guess that's just like a thing in Russia. You know, if any other, I feel like Western military saw that, that certainly would not be on. That would be some like cause for concern instantly, you know. At least I know here in Canada that shit would be shut down immediately, you know. So is what it is. It's unfortunate, but that shit does happen. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more content from me. Of course, leave your recommendations down in the comments below. And big thank you to all of our members, all of our Hastati, Principe, Dagenhart, and of course our Prefect, Hobbit. I appreciate you. You guys inspire me to make more content for you guys every single day. And yeah, without any further delay, guys, this has been Torren. See you guys in the next one. Peace, guys.